guys, thanks for coming back to watch my third video. Today I decided not to do a cooking video, but to go over how we budget, because I am still Blondie on a budget. So it really started for us back in 2016. I had gone to Barnes & Nobles and I had come across a book. You may have heard about it. Love Your Life, Not Theirs, Rachel Cruz, which happens to be Dave Ramsey's daughter if you didn't already know that. But I was just scrolling through. I was always interested in budgeting, and in fact I had a budget binder and I kept every single bill that we got, but I wasn't actually budgeting. I know that doesn't make any sense, but for how much time I spent doing a binder of keeping all of our bills and trying to figure out how to stay on time with them, how to save some money, I don't understand what I was doing. So this book actually walks you through on what you need to do to get out of debt, and then followed by reading this book, I did read the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, so I also recommend reading that. So after reading the book, then I started listening to Dave Ramsey's podcast, and I was just so inspired. I told my husband about it. He was like, yeah, whatever, you know. But then I said, hey, you need to do this for me. Listen to one of the episodes, let me know what you think. And he actually enjoyed listening to Dave Ramsey. And so on January 1st, 2017, we went for our first budget meeting at a local brewery, trying to make it a little more fun and interesting, and just sat down and realized what we needed to do to get things working. So I'll have to go over how we actually paid off our debts in another video, but to get back to the budgeting, so we get paid every Friday, or my husband does, and then I get paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So we put my paycheck in a separate bank account. It's just kind of knowing that the mortgage is taken care of. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about putting it into a savings and then transferring it back to pay the mortgage. We don't have to worry about ever spending our mortgage money. It's just in another bank account that we never run our debit card on or never take cash out of. So that's how I do that. And then on my second paycheck, that's just basically whatever I get paid is what we throw to savings or sinking funds. So with my husband's paycheck that he gets every Friday, that's where I actually budget our cash envelope money and all of our other expenses that are not our mortgage. I actually do also pay our 529 account from my paycheck as well. But those are just, I don't have to worry about it. The money's always there. It's automatically taken out. And so the only thing with my husband's paycheck is that it is never the same. It depends on how many hours he works. Of course, it depends on how many hours he works overtime, if they pull out union dues that week. And so I kind of just take what I know he's guaranteed, and that's what I budget off of. So if I know that he's guaranteed I'm going to throw out a number, $1,000, then that's what I'm going to budget. So if he gets $1,400, then I know that money is going straight to debt, straight to savings, because that's not accounted for. That was just extra. So with my husband's paycheck, it goes into a separate bank account. And so every Friday I will go to the bank with my little sticky note and tell them how I want my cash for my cash envelopes. And then I'll also go online and pay any of the bills that we can pay, or I will walk in a bill if I want to. I don't keep a lot of money in our checking account, and this is something that we are kind of struggling with to try and find what works for us still after 3 years of doing it this way. I don't want any extra money in the bank account. I set a budget. This is what we're spending this week. This is how much we have. I want all of the rest of the money to go to savings or to debt. And so sometimes things come up, and so I'm awful at having a miscellaneous category in our budget. That is definitely a goal this year that I want to be better at. It's just hard because I'm like, well, if I don't have to go to Target this month to buy household supplies or whatever it is, then why am I just hoarding this money? And so it's hard for me. I just want to put it all in what used to be our truck loan, or I want to put it all to savings. And so that's where I need to realize that those things do come up. We don't want to pull from savings. And so that is a goal. So before I go over how I budget in my planner, because I do want you guys to see how I spread it all out, I do want to say that you guys have to do a written budget. Whether you put it in an app, there's EveryDollar app, which I used for just a little bit, but I really just do like the pen and paper. have to do a budget. Another thing that's super important is a budget meeting. If you have a budget and your husband doesn't know about it or vice versa, then how are you going to stay on budget? You have to have a budget meeting. You have to talk about these things. And I know for a while it's going to be hard, especially if you're just starting out. You guys aren't always going to agree on where the money should go, but it's not just your money, it's our money. And so we have to agree on how we're going to spend it. So this is the planner that I bought for this year. I found it on Etsy. So let me show you. That is where I bought it from. So go there, check it out, see if you like it. It's super cute. It is small enough to fit in my purse, which I love, so that I can check on my budget every single day. But this is a section that I wanted to show you. This is how I plan my paycheck. So I write down what hours I'm working, and then as I said, I get paid on the 1st and the 15th. So then I figure out what each paycheck roughly is going to be, and then I know what subtract my mortgage, subtract the kids' $529, then whatever we have left over from my paycheck, that just goes straight to savings at this point. So I do this every single month. I do it before the month starts, which is really important because you need to know what your budget's going to be before the month gets here. So this is how I'm going to use the weekly part of the planner. So this is where I'm going to do my weekly budgeting, what bills I'm going to pay and what bills I'm going to pay out of our bank account, just like as an automatic payment or as far as going online and hurry up and paying it. The thing that I like is I want the money out of my bank account as soon as possible, like I said. So the life insurance, the cable, the cell phone bill, those are all going to be paid online and taken out immediately. Then the food, gas, my husband's spending money, and my son's allowance, that's going to go out in cash envelopes. So don't carry a ton of cash on me. I wouldn't recommend it, but I do like to do the cash envelopes. And then I'll write roughly what I think the total is going to be, and then what I think we'll be able to save and then have. Again, I'm trying to get better on miscellaneous, so we will have even more left over for a miscellaneous category. Just still trying to figure that out. Then here I'm going to put what I'm going to cook for the week and kind of keep track of that. And then here I want to put down what I want as far as my cash back on the bank for doing the cash envelopes. So I'm going to write 100, 20s, 50s, 10s, 5s, 1s, and then that way I can just take this to the bank and say this is how I want it. So each week I like to write what our goal is going to be as far as what we're going to pay to debt or what we're going to put into savings. It kind of holds me accountable because in the beginning of the month you figure out your budget so you know what you're capable of saving for debt or for your savings. So when you get to that week and you get that paycheck and then you see that you didn't spend it wisely, it's kind of like, I don't know, you feel bad, and so you want to do better the next week. So I really recommend putting all of your goals in writing so that you can kind of hold yourself accountable. So I just want to say thanks for coming back to the channel, checking out this video. Leave any comments that you have for me down below. If I didn't explain something, again, I'm still learning how to do this, and so I do want to help you budget, and if there's something that I didn't answer for you, please let me know. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as go over to my Blondie on a Budget page on Instagram.